So you have to make realistic expectations. When Tony wrote her list down, she didn't put the man must be a millionaire, right? Because I would have been out of the running. And if Tony would have written that down, I must be a millionaire, 20 years ago almost, then we would have never got together. So make your list is where there are realistic expectations. Go ahead, Nick.
Right. And I just want to add to that. I think a lot of times, just to add to what Tobias said, we think we know what we want, but we really don't. Like a lot of times we look at these fairy tales, and they are fairy tales, as what we think marriage is. And I say it to anyone that ever has called me for any type of advice or just wanted my viewpoint on things is, marriage is work. I said this before when I had this a year and a half ago. You have to just look at it like you're looking at a career or running a business. Like, it takes two people to be dedicated to have a common goal, right? You have to have a common goal in order for it to work, you know? And I think a lot of times, you know, we don't understand what that looks like. We don't understand when he may be moody or I may be moody, or we may not be feeling well, or someone may have lost a family member, or your looks may change, your weight may change, your career may change. It's so much, you know, that you have to take on in order for you to actually have happiness. You know, if I can really break that down and make it really, really clear.
I like what you said, baby. You just said something that was really good. Dedication. So the changes that she just listed that happens in life, period, shouldn't change your dedication. In order to stay with someone or with anything, you have to be dedicated. Look how undisciplined we are in these days.
Right.
If you're real about what's going on, we're not disciplined. We jump from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing.
It's true.
And people do this in relationships. You jumping from one to the next to the next to the next. So I think that's a good point right there. Let that one sink in, dedication, because before you get married, there should be dedication there. Doesn't matter the change that someone looks different physically, doesn't change your dedication to the person. Someone can be moody, doesn't change your dedication. I'm not going to divorce you because I don't like your mood. You understand what I'm saying? That's not dedication. If it takes that little for you to become unhinged, you were never dedicated. You're looking for something. Your dedication isn't there. Oh, I'm not feeling him no more. That changes your dedication. That, to me, questions if you were really dedicated or not. But anyway, keep going.
And what is dedication? You know? So I think a lot of times, I want this, you know, I want loyalty. Loyalty is a must for me. I'm going to be very clear on that. You know, I think a lot of times...
But you can't be loyal if you don't have dedication.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah, see?
Loyalty, being faithful, like, in my mind, I think a lot of times, too, we get it twisted because we accept things and we go into marriages with things that we knew was happening prior to we got in marriages. Then we get into the marriage and then we want to complain and then we're unhappy, right? So I already knew how Tobias was because, again, I grew up with him. And then we dated even in high school. So I knew who I was marrying. So I think a lot of times we don't look at that. We don't look at the traits. We don't look at, if he was stingy before you got married, what do you think he's going to be when you get married? If he was running around on you before you got married, what do you think he's going to do in the marriage, right? If he wasn't sacrificing, going above and beyond, this goes for male or female, because I think a lot of times too, sometimes as females, we think we're the whole package as well. And sometimes mentally, spiritually, we're not. And I don't think a lot of times, and I'm going to just say this too, in the black and brown community, we don't believe in going to seek therapists or going to seek help. I think a lot of times we suffer in silence and we have past traumas and we go through things, even myself, early on in my marriage, and we bring past traumas into relationships, right? So I think that's something big too. Look at yourself. Look at what you bring to the table. And I'm not talking about a nice shape and nice makeup and looking good. I'm not talking about a good job. I'm talking about overall, and Vanita put in a comment, character, right? They say in the Bible, a woman of virtue. Like, in order for Tobias to do what he does, you know, and I commend him all the time, saying he does to me, but I'm a good wife. And I know I'm a good wife, but again, it goes back to, it takes work in order for me to get there, right? I have to put in work. Not saying it's going to take from the individual, but you get more when you put in more.
Yes,
right?
That's a good point right there.